Hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whichever time of the day you're getting this and wherever from. In case you don't know me from anywhere else, you've never heard my voice or seen my face, my name is Makasi, yes, Makasi, and welcome to This What Is This podcast, where we talk about random stuff and determine what they are or not. Before I go on, let me note this. Thank you so much, guys, for the support so far. We have, the views are amazing, but most of you are watching without subscribing. So if you've not subscribed, please do so right now. And if you can get whichever number of people you can get to subscribe, do that too. We'll appreciate a lot. Anyway, dive right into today's episode, and I hope you do enjoy it, and tell me when you do in the comments. Does anyone else think that too much wokeness in the world is beginning to work against us? Like, of course, there's the benefits, but we are taking advantage of the situation and blowing things out of proportion, and it's even taking away the fun in life, in the life that we're supposed to be living here. Like, for example, information is moving so fast, people are being so informed, and there is this wave of change. Actually, I think this era is supposed to be, it's going to be written down somewhere in history, because people are, all of a sudden, we are so concerned about making other people comfortable in their bodies, in their skin, in themselves, whoever they feel like they are. And in this process, you cannot comment about a person's body, for example, their body weight or their appearance, because it's being insensitive, which is a good thing. And other things, like, for example, you cannot, people are allowed to dress however they want. Like, a woman can walk around half naked, or what you would think is half naked, and you cannot even call it that because you're being insensitive. A woman can walk around half naked and you're not allowed to look because you're sexualizing them and stuff like that. And they will play the victim, and now you're the one on the wrong. So we kind of have to tiptoe among other people so that you do not trigger people and stuff like that. And you realize when you're too careful with life, when you're too serious, when you're trying too much to not offend other people, life is not even fun. It's like there is no free time. Every other time you're trying not to offend other people. That's what I meant when I said it's that we are missing out on the fun of the life that we're supposed to be living. Because if you did this, you will be cancelled and people will think you're a terrible person. Of course, that's going to affect you too as a person. It's meant to affect you. And then you come and realize, in fact, I am the victim because I cannot live life freely. If I cannot look at people, if looking at people makes me criminal, who is the victim here now? I mean, well, si ati natetea ma perverts or anything. I mean, it's just looking, I am not touching. The issue of walking around half naked, I feel like the problem is coming from the person who is walking around looking like that, because you will walk around fully dressed and people are still going to look at you, but you're not going to complain about that. Because why? You believe you are good looking, you believe you are presentable, and you don't have a problem with people looking at you because you believe in yourself. So this other time when you go out looking however you want to look like and people look at you and all of a sudden you have a problem with it, it's because you yourself, you know that what you're doing is not the right thing to do, and you're not comfortable yourself, and you are the problem. Other people are not the problem, because people are going to look at you anyway, whether you're fully dressed, whether you're half dressed, people are still going to look. But this time you have a problem with it because you do know it from right within yourself that you should not be doing this, or you're not comfortable. That's the word. You're not comfortable. My dress, my choice, but what you choose, make sure you're comfortable in it. Usianze kulaumu watu hapa nini, blah, 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 and making life hard for other people to live. Another issue is in the quest for equal human rights. We are fighting for women to have equal rights as men. We want them to be able to have, for example, land rights. We want them to be able to own land and make production decisions for the land without it having to be affiliated to a man. We want them to be able to make decisions about their bodies, things like when to have children or how many children to have, or whether to have the children in the first place. We want them to be able to have a career, choose whichever career path they want to follow and stuff like that. Beautiful, very beautiful. One of the best things we've done as a human race. I commend us for that. But now I don't know when it became a debate of, and the internet became like a war zone of men against women. We are fighting one another, constantly arguing on the internet 24/7. Every issue has to be turned into a fight. Every incident has to be turned into a fight. and we are living like we do not need one another, while in reality we cannot exist, one cannot exist without the other. That's not even my main point. Now, as women, when we've been given the right to have equal rights as men, we've taken it as our chance to do every wrong thing that the men were doing, instead of coming together and agreeing that now that we have a seat at the table, instead of coming together and agreeing that this is wrong, this needs to stop, we want to outdo them, we want to outshine them. For example, things like cheating in marriages and relationships, for example. In the past, it was unheard of for women to be doing that, but the men were doing it. I do not want to say it's a good thing to do. It's terrible. It needs to stop. And now it's become like, if you can't beat them, join them. I'm not even sure we tried to beat them. I'm not even sure we tried to right that wrong. But now women are also cheating, and the men do not want to be defeated. So it's like a competition of fear men and fear women. Which one is winning against the other? And it's chaos all over the place. A lot of divorce rates in the society right now, and children are being brought up in broken families, and it's affecting them a lot. We are bringing up children, or we are bringing up adults who are full of very disturbed, a lot of mental health issues and stuff like that, which is a good thing for the therapist. But now I'm worried if in the future there's going to be any, because everyone is going to be affected. It's chaos, guys. And I'm worried about the future, because in our generation we have the worst mental health issues, so many problems. I don't know whether we've become weak, or the issues are just too much, or is it just because we are too much aware of ourselves and our surrounding and our health, even our mental health, than people in the past. It's all over the place. But now, with everything going on and everyone being affected, who is going to treat who? Because everyone needs helping themselves. And who is going to have the energy to stomach another person's issues when their own mental health is in the pits themselves? Like tangulini muzaji mafuta akakuwa na ngozi meparara, you know. Anyway, I hope we get ourselves out of the mess. And we have very many other weird things happening in the world today. Like, how do I even put this? It's like the women are also trying their hand in polygamy. We have women marrying more than one husband. Like, I saw a case of a Kenyan lady who is married to her 3 husbands. They are living together in the same house, claiming to be happily married. I hope they are happy, by the way. And you might want to complain that, but the men have always done it. Yes, they did. But did we agree that it was the right thing to do? It's the most beautiful thing a person can do, and this is the way we are supposed to follow? No, we did not. And as I was saying, instead of trying to make things right, instead of trying to live in the way that we think is right, socializing ourselves differently and the future generation differently, we are joining them and trying to outdo them. Like, for example, I believe in polygamy, what happens is, like, if a man marries more than one wife, they build different houses for each one of them, and you know, they live separately. Today he's here, tomorrow he's here. But this one, it's an orgy. Anyway, I've always labeled myself a liberal, by the way, which I still am. And as a liberal, I have no problem with their orgies. I am not judging them for doing that. I am not judging sinners for sinning differently. I am a meticulous one myself. But my problem is they do not have to call it a marriage. It's not a marriage. It's something else. They are ruining the meaning of the word. Anyway, what the world has become right now is that after me saying such things, you might see people go on the streets next week screaming and shouting, claiming to be demanding their rights, because apparently I am violating them by judging them, not letting them live the life they want to live, not making them comfortable in their life choices, blah blah blah. Yes, that's the factory we are living in. So siwezi shtuka nikiona hata watu wakitoka hapo wakisema things like we cannot stay faithful in marriages. It's just in us. We were born that way. We are sijui what. We need our rights. We need to be accepted in the society like that, blah blah blah. Well, I don't know how we got here, but that's the case, man. Another issue, especially with our generation, is that you can be whatever you want. Of course, you can be whatever you want. I can wake up today and decide I want to be a diva, and I become a diva, my friend. But now people have blown that statement out of proportion, and people can be any ridiculous thing they want to be. I can wake up today and decide I am a 30-year-old white male. And I'm going to have a problem when people call me a she or a woman and they think I am black. All of a sudden, I feel so insulted. I feel so abused. But bro, that's what you look like. This is a very sensitive issue. I might be getting myself into problems for just bringing it up, but what the fuck, guys, what the fuck? Like, if I have grown up as a woman my whole life and today I decide I am no longer a woman, please, I am not even my age, I am 13. I'm a 13-year-old boy. And I start hanging out with 13-year-old boys and feeling like them. And if other people look at me as an adult and they are expecting me to act as an adult, that's the most insulting thing that has ever happened to me. And I am being insulted. I am the victim now, blah, blah, blah. And that's not even my worst problem of this whole shebang. We are changing English words. I mean, English is not even our first language. We are learning the language and now they're making it harder. We cannot even use normal English words because they may offend people. Things like, because of this whole pronoun thing and changing, some people do not want to identify as male and female. And now we have to call them things like fish at them. I cannot say fisherman or fisherwoman while referring to some people because it's offending them. Because they do not conform to gender binary, and I have to make them comfortable in my speech. And life is not fun to live anymore, by the way. And normally I wouldn't be talking about this stuff if it wasn't happening in my country, but Kenyans, for some reason, we are very easy to accept and normalize things, and like we are very liberal. We take whatever comes very easily and we accept it, and it's the new normal now all of a sudden. All I'm saying is those people trying to play victim, we are ending up being the victim now because we cannot live life comfortably. I cannot be trying to, in my speech, I am trying to look for words that have either a they or I'm trying to look for words with a she or a he and making it gender neutral, so that I make other people comfortable. It's a struggle, and now we are the victim. And now with all the wokeness and, I don't know, information and everything, people can find reasons to be bad people. People have excuses to be terrible people, and they can play the victim. For example, I can give excuses like, I did not grow up with love. I was not shown affection as a child. And that is the reason why I am the way I am. That's the reason why I am a rude person. That's the reason why I'm a terrible person. While in reality, what you're supposed to do as an adult, because you are, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to work on yourself. Make yourself a good person, especially now that you're aware of what the problem is or the root of the problem. It's easier to work on yourself and make it not a problem, make it not work against you, because if you grow up without love, it doesn't mean that automatically you're going to be a good person, a bad person. It depends on your perspective on how you're going to view that and whether you let it work against you or you're going to make sure that other people around you are not going to suffer the problem that you suffered as a child or at whatever point in your life that you did, and make the world a better place. But now all of a sudden I can be an asshole because, my dad left me, or I was not shown love, or my boyfriend broke my heart, or anything like that. You're supposed to work on yourself. It's your duty. At least you owe that to the rest of the world, to work on yourself and make the world a better place. Make others live comfortably. You don't have to make others suffer what you did because you did it. It's like, what do they say? Heal yourself so that you do not bleed on people who did not hurt you. I know the whole world is having the burden of having to deal with you, and we have to like build a defense mechanism in our heart, in our minds, in our souls, of how to deal with terrible people like you. And it's not a good way to live. It's not a good way to live, having to be constantly prepared to deal with terrible people or people that maybe they had a heartbreak, or people that had to do what it's become. And the world is not fun anymore. Like, even children cannot enjoy their childhood because they are very busy training to live in the world. And when we're doing that, we do not have the time to live life and have fun in life. Does anyone else think that the way we are normalizing everything and accepting people the way they are, even when they are terrible and do not want to work on themselves to make the world a better place, we might end up normalizing some really terrible things like serial killers because they are human and deserving of love and some BS like that. And then the world will end up being so insecure, a terrible place to live, and we will fight one another and kill one another, and that will be the end of us. And maybe that was the idea in the first place. Maybe we were supposed to be pitched against one another like that, fight against one another, or allow people to fight us, allow terrible people to finish us, and that will be the end of our human race, our generation, and stuff like that. Anyway, I don't know. I have come to the end of the video. Thank you so much for staying with me till the end. I hope you did. And you can invite your friends to come and watch too. Do not forget to tell me what you think in the comment section. And in case you're watching without subscribing, please do subscribe right now. Thank you and bye-bye.